Okay, so a PQ rep, again, is this exercise. So I'm going to invite you to take two fingertips and gently rub them against each other. So gently rub your two fingertips against each other with such a tension that you can feel the fingertip ridges on both fingers. Again, you gently rub two fingertips against each other with a tension that you can feel the fingertip ridges, right? So that was about 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And if your head was under an fMRI machine, what we would have noticed is that this 10-second rep that you did ever so slightly quieted the region of your brain where your saboteurs live and activated the region of the brain where your sage lives.
Do you have positive intelligence? And do you know what positive intelligence is? And are you missing positive intelligence in your life? My guest, Nermine Zakhary. She's here to talk all about positive intelligence. You may have seen her. She was on an anthology about a year ago. And Ennobling Business Success with the Most Magnificent Dr. Cass story, and brought that together. And we get to hear again about positive intelligence and right into it. What are we even talking about, Nermine?
Positive intelligence, Maureen, is the measure of our mental fitness.
Mm.
Mental fitness is our capacity to handle life's challenges with a positive mindset instead of a negative one. So
Okay, let's do visual on that, because I understand what you're saying. So let's do, if you were to have a gift or a short or someone, who's someone that is not living in positive intelligence? What does that look like?
anyone who is really sabotaged or hijacked from their effectiveness when they're feeling uh, negative emotions for any length of time. So, negative emotions such as guilt, frustration, blame, unhappiness, disappointment, self doubt, anxiety, anger, shame, regret, stress. Anyone who's feeling any of those for any length of time is being hijacked. It's when we're being sabotaged of our ability to be effective.
Okay, holding that. I'm painting a picture here. So first of all, can any of you relate to that? Shame, blame, guilt, stuckness. And like, if there were to be a graphic, it'd be someone sitting with the cloud around there, a dark cloud hanging over them, following them everywhere. Yes. Now, someone living positive intelligence. What is that? What do that look? What do they look like?
Oh wow. So that's when our mind is serving us and creating those opportunities for successful outcomes. And that's when we're generating positive emotions such as curiosity, gratitude, empathy, calm, peace, resolve, clarity, joy, and focus.
Bing, 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 bing. First thing that I experience with particularly women, but there's the men out there. I know you're hurting too. So this is in everybody. The first thing to go is joy. And from my experience, it's the hardest thing to reclaim. Would you agree with me?
I would. I would. It is. You're right. When we're feeling these other, when we start to feel the doubt or the anxiety, that's the first thing. Is it's stealing that joy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so living the difference. The other thing too that you're missing is, I love the curiosity. I would add gratitude, generosity,
Mm,
and creativity. That's
absolutely.
where that lines the purpose of who we are and what we are, and that fulfilled. Yes.
Absolutely.
So how do we get there?
How do we get there? Well, the concept I'm sharing with you, Maureen, is based on the research by Shirzad Chamine, outlined in his book Positive Intelligence. And he did research with over 500,000 participants, um, and came. It was he calls it. What he found is that PQ, positive intelligence, is the best predictor of how happy a person is and how well they perform relative to their potential. So, how do we get started? It's by we have to, how do we grow our mental fitness? We spend so much time, right? We on our physical fitness. Uh, all of these years we were focused on our on lifestyle and eating habits and uh, going to the gym and gaining strength. We've put so much emphasis on physical fitness, not as much on mental fitness. So just like we grow our physical muscles in order to get stronger and be more healthy, we need to grow our mental muscles. And and Shirzad has outlined three three core mental muscles. His research, bubbles it down to three core mental muscles that we need to focus on. Uh, the first one is intercepting that hijack. It's recognizing uh, when we're being sabotaged. The second muscle is learning to strengthen our self-command. So really taking control of those situations, taking control of our mind. And then the third mental muscle is really activating that positive mindset. It's shifting to a different perspective, uh, that we call the sage perspective. And I can tell you a little bit more about that. I just want to stop there for a moment and let you ask.
I want you to stop there for a moment, because so the world we're living in, are we fit in our positive intelligence? Is the news organizations putting forward stories with positive intelligence, with the emphasis on that? Where are we living, and what is the state of humanity at this point, and how are people feeling?
Oh, we're surrounded by uh, catastrophes and horrible things happening in the news. It's rare that we um, see especially in the news. It's rare that we see the good that's happening, the positive, and there's plenty of that around us. Unfortunately, much of the attention is brought to the sad news, to the disappointing, to the frustrating, and from a news perspective, that's definitely. And when we allow ourselves to stay and ruminate about the horrible things that might be happening around us, then we stay stuck.
Yep.
But rather than so instead of rather than when we're focusing on some of the positives and potential opportunities, that's where we can start to shift into something more positive.
Right. So let's say the people sitting on their couch outside, sitting at work, right, as they might be coming as a short comes through that they're saying, all right, you know what? Yeah, a positive intelligence. I'm working paycheck to paycheck. That's if I have a job. The again, they're telling us inflation's getting back under control, but groceries have doubled in the last year. And you know what? No, I'm not happy on a regular basis. Where do you even begin with people? And that's all true. That's all the life that people are living, that we get to say, I see you. Here's something for you. What would you say to them?
First, that I understand and I get it, and it's so life can be hard, and life is hard.
Sorry.
But we weren't, there's, but we have a life to live, and we have these beautiful gifts that we've been given, that other people need. There are important ways to serve and to contribute and to live a life of meaning and purpose. And we can't do that when we're bogged down by the negative. The only way that our gifts can be expressed is when we're coming from that positive place. So how do we, so so let's take some steps to shift. Let's take some steps.
So, okay, so people are even the peaks. So I really do want to break this down, that the people that are stuck, when there's a tremendous amount of people stuck, understandably, and they're like, you know what? I don't have time to even think about what I want, because no one's even asked me that. I'm just going through the motions of getting things done because I keep doing, because that's the only way I'm going to keep food on the table for my family. Where do you begin with that?
Well, let's take a look at, what is happening? What is getting in the way? What is hijacking your effectiveness or your ability to be happy and enjoy gifts and enjoy this phase in your life that you're in? And we do that by uncovering, well, what are some ways that I might be getting hijacked, sabotaged. So let me share with you a little bit of the research that Shirzad has uncovered. What he's found is that there are only 10 ways that we sabotage ourselves. He's boiled it down to 10. That's what his research reveals.
Give us the top three.
Well, it's easier to kind of call them out for you, because the first one is the judge. The way that we sabotage ourselves, all of us have the judge. All of us are, in one way or another, we judge ourselves. That's the inner critic. So when we make a mistake or we let somebody down, we're immediately coming down hard on ourselves. The judge also judges other people, and it messes with our relationships, Maureen. When we don't see eye to eye, or someone does something that irritates us. And then the third way that the judge really gets in the way is by judging circumstances and situations. And it says that I can't be happy until certain things are in order. So I won't be happy until I get that raise, or I won't be happy until I have that house, or I won't be happy until I find the right partner, and so on and so on. So that's the main character that messes with us, and the judge, and again, one that we all have. And the judge calls in different accomplices.
Yep.
It calls in different accomplices, and they are there's something else. Well, I'm going to call them out for you, and you'll see here in a moment. See if there's anything that you identify with. There's 9 of them that work alongside the judge, that mess with us. The first is controller. Second, hyperachiever, restless, stickler, pleaser, hypervigilant, avoider, victim, and hyper-rational.
And from what I'm seeing, that in again, going back to positive intelligence and emotional intelligence and EQ, that you're going from the operating systems of the ones that people are most into. Your controllers are going to be are going to be your analyzers, are going to be hyper focused. Your promoters are going to be, they're just a piece of commitment, and all of that is within that. Here gets to be the power. So you're telling me the first thing is say, and the piece here is that it's all okay because that's who you are, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then within that saying, then here, I love the power here. How do they shift?
How do we shift? Well, before I get to how we shift, let me tell you what's possible for when you shift.
Okay.
When
All
you
right.
shift. When you
Becomes
shift.
the rainbow, right?
The
Let's
rainbow,
count the
absolutely.
rainbow.
When you shift, it is you have access to superpowers. And Shirzad calls them the sage. Your superpowers are your ability to empathize, that is with yourself and with other people. You're able to explore, really find, get to the root of what's going on, find the facts, know your options. Then you're able to innovate, create new ideas. Your creativity comes in, right? Navigate, really being able to work around the tough spots and really lean into what's really important here. And then finally, your ability to activate. Finally, move into action.
Committed action,
Yeah,
which is crucial.
crucial. So that is definitely that is what becomes possible for us when we shift, when we recognize that when we go through when we grow our mental fitness. So the first thing that we have to do, Maureen, is recognize the sabotage. Recognize when we are being hijacked. And the great thing is now we have there's by the way there's a 5-minute free assessment that folks can complete.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Free gift.
Hmm?
This is a free gift. We love
Free gift.
gifts. Okay. Hold on. There's a free gift coming. Stay there. We will get there. 5-minute assessment, free gift coming. Hold on there. I want to leave people today. The purpose of the show is always leaving people with a nugget, multiple nuggets that they get to say, I can take that and move forward, or I can take that and have just some sense of peace, some sense of movement, some sense of relief. How do we do that today?
Yeah. So it starts by recognizing. So when when you complete your assessment, it'll rank all of the 9 saboteurs for you in order. And so the invitation really is to address the top 2 or 3. Because as soon as you start addressing them, the rest of them will quiet down as well. So number 1 muscle that we have to build is recognizing when we're being hijacked. And because when I recognize it, then I can say stop.
Because you can see it versus it taking over. You're like, oh, there you are, right? Okay.
So by completing the assessment, identifying, understanding the top saboteurs that are really depleting your effectiveness and your happiness and your well-being, then you recognize them when they're showing up and getting in the way. That's number 1. Number 2 is growing that self-command, really taking control of the mind. And we do that by getting grounded in our physical senses, Maureen. The only way that we can stop the chatter that's going on up here, which is the constant noise that keeps us in that negative space, is by the only way to quiet it and to shut it down is by getting present in our physical senses, to get grounded. And we do that with what we call PQ reps. So PQ stands for positive intelligence quotient. So a PQ rep are short exercises, if you will, that we can do to help us get grounded, to really connect to our physical senses, to help us stop what's going on up here.
Just an example of one, because people are already going to move forward from here today. They get to be better because you're on today. Mm-hmm. How fabulous is that? Mm-hmm. Give them something right now that they're going to say.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you to do it with me, Maureen.
Okay.
Okay, so a PQ rep, again, is this exercise. So I'm going to invite you to take 2 fingertips and gently rub them against each other. So gently rub your two fingertips against each other with such a tension that you can feel the fingertip ridges on both fingers. Again, gently rub two fingertips against each other with a tension that you can feel the fingertip ridges, right? So that was about 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And if your head was under an fMRI machine, what we would have noticed is that this 10-second rep that you did ever so slightly quieted the region of your brain where your saboteurs live and activated the region of the brain where your sage lives. And we know, of course, okay, so 10 seconds won't change everything. But what if you did a lot of these? What if you did a minute or 2 minutes? Or in the morning, before you start your day, you sat and did 5 or 10 minutes of touch related PQ reps, touching rubbing your hands together, or you did some breathing exercises, or you really focused on what you're hearing, the furthest sound or the closest sound, your heartbeat, your hearing, your breath. If we stay, when you that's the next muscle that we want to build, is being able to get grounded, to stop the chatter, and that's by connecting to our physical senses.
That I love, because then, so when, besides when you're driving, that when things are really getting out of hand, and you feel it, right? And they talk about stress and all the byproducts that we're doing to our body and what that look at elevated blood pressure, breathing, all of that. Just stop and rub your fingers together, potentially, and just allow. And that will pass, and then you can reset. Yes?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And allows us to reset. I love that. That's a great way to phrase it.
Okay.
Allows us to reset. And then the third, so now great. I recognize I'm being hijacked. I'm irritated by the traffic and someone that cut me off. I can, rub my fingers together. I can really focus on my breathing, right? The rising and falling of my chest as I breathe. And then I'm more calm. Now I can look at the situation from a different perspective. And from there, we can assume this perspective, which is every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift and opportunity. Every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift or opportunity. From a saboteur, when I'm bogged down by the negative emotions, I can't see the gift and opportunity in a situation. It's only when I've shifted to that sage, to the more positive mindset, when I've stopped the chatter, that I can assume this beautiful gift and see the gift and opportunity in any situation.
I'm gonna put a spin on that.
Yeah.
So of course we're realizing, and all this, by the way, no shame, no blame. This is who we are in the world that we live in. So we get to embrace that, recognizing it, shifting it by simply grounding ourselves, and then seeing the gift in you that you were meant here to bring.
Yeah.
That's my twist.
Yeah.
And there's that creative space that will open up that has so been missing because of being bogged down. Does that spin work? Does that align with what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It opens the door. It opens the door to see the beauty of you, to see the beauty of others, the beauty in the world, that there is a way forward, that I don't have to stay here, that I don't have to stay stuck, that I can create some movement towards where I want to go, and what I want for my life, what I want for my family, what I want for my career and my work, and fulfilling my purpose.
Love it. And it's as simple as rubbing your fingers together. Okay. Free gift. What's this all about? Let's go with that.
I will let me just give me 1 second here, and I'll just
We're
give
gonna
you
have all kinds of links. Promise
okay.
you that.
I promise. I'll
Where are
yeah.
they going and what does the gift look like?
So this particular gift is just the free assessment that you can complete. Takes you 5-10 minutes max to uncover your saboteurs, and that's so you know where to start.
Okay.
And plenty of description and ways for you to identify and recognize situations and your behaviors that that lead to the sabotage. So the assessment will be available to you too. That's the first step in your journey. And another gift I would like to offer, Maureen.
Getting two today? Come
You're
on.
getting two today.
But I love that.
Well, I'm so grateful that the opportunity to meet you was through my participation in co-authoring the Ennobling Business for Success book. So I would love to offer anyone who reaches out my chapter. My chapter is called Hidden Potential, and it's really it's my story. It's the first part of my story that about how I uncovered my strengths and why this work is so important to me. And I'd love for your listeners to have that.
I love it. So in that, and by the way, from when I first interviewed you to who you are now and who you get to be, I am so grateful to see you really embracing your journey and who you are now. So what would it be to work with you? What does that look like? And go into a little bit in who and what you're doing in this world.
Oh, I so I take people on a journey, Maureen, and it starts with understanding, really uncovering our strengths. That's how I came. I was introduced to the positive intelligence work through through my colleagues in my strengths community, and it became so evident to me that this work is mental increasing our mental fitness is the next step in ensuring lifelong effective application of my strengths. Because even though I come on, by the way, for folks who may not know, I'm a strengths coach. I use the Clifton Strengths Assessment, and that's where we start. Even though
what is a strength coach? You can't throw that out there. What is a strength
coach? I'm a strength coach, so I help you identify your. We uncover what your strengths are, and then we figure out how to use them in order to increase your performance, to really enjoy your relationships, and ways to find creative ways to solve problems. So we go on a journey, and it starts by uncovering your strengths. So I use I prescribe to the Clifton Strengths Assessment. That is the tool, my tool of choice that I use with my clients. And from there, we unleash effective strengths use, because there's definitely there's a difference between effective and ineffective strengths use.
Yeah.
So we ask the question: are your strengths accelerating the direction where you want to go, your growth, or are they getting in the way of your ability to get there? So we talk about effective and ineffective strengths use. We get really clear about that. And then we talk more about, we get clear on who we are. How is it that we, as individuals, how we contribute? How do you contribute? What is it that you need in order to show up at your best? And once we're clear about who we are and what we want to bring to the world, our unique, special gift, then we start to take a look at the people around us. Well, how do I, what's unique and special about them? How do I appreciate and leverage their beautiful gifts in our space together? And then from there, we step into positive intelligence so that we can stay there, stay in that positive mindset, leveraging strengths, performing at our best, enjoying relationships in that positive mindset.
So I'm loving this. So again, talking about purpose and who and what we are, the reason why we're here, vision, purpose, depending on the jargon and vernacular you want to use, right? That the piece of what do you want? And again, there's people that, the last time anyone asked me that you get behind that. And so we get to figure that out together. So then you can live your full life of being in your purpose and really joyfully and creatively and and lovingly. Yes?
Beautifully said.
Okay. All right. Again, Nermine Zakhary. Again, 2 free gifts down below. Okay. Get in touch with the links for her website or linked below as well. Grab your grips, grab the chapter, and get in touch with Nermine and say, hey, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where I want, because who's ever asked me or cared? Nermine cares, and we get to get you there. I love this. Thank you for coming on the show. And what are you working on, and what's coming up?
Oh, I am. Thank you so much, Maureen, for having me. It's always such a joy to be with you. Uh, what am I working on? I'm ramping up for the summer to fill a couple of groups that will be going through a group coaching experience through the journey that I just shared with you. Positive intelligence.
When is the next kickoff of the group? What does that look like? So we get to be in urgency because they're going to fill up.
Yeah,
what's the time frame?
Absolutely. We're going to be kicking things off at the end of July.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the link for that will not only be on the website, will also be below in the workshop and what that looks like in the group program.
To enroll, I invite folks to a complimentary coaching session, and we have a chat. We're going to explore together where it is that you want to go, what is it that you need in order to get there, and then we'll decide together what the next best step for you.
Okay.
So all of that will be. I'll include all of those in
oodles
detail.
and goodles of stuff. So we got 2 free gifts. Get your assessment, get Nermine's chapter, and there, guess what? We'll follow up with getting on a call and getting unstuck and finding out why you're here, what you want, and let's get back your joy. Okay, Nermine Zakhary, so great to see you again. Till the next time, everybody. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.